Have you ever had the type of week where it seems like everything just goes wrong? The car breaks down, the job application gets rejected, your best idea fails, and even the coffee tastes bad. That's the time in our lives when we just wonder if the whole universe is out to get us and we're on some kind of supernatural unlucky list. I've had those weeks, and I bet you probably have too. Now here's a twist. What if I told you that disappointment wasn't a curse, but could possibly be a gift? That failure doesn't ruin your story, but might be an opportunity to rewrite it. And disappointment could be hope misinterpreted. And today I want to tell you why. Because disappointment, even when it's painful, could shape us in ways that victories never could. You see, the world tries to erase all forms of failure. We remove it from our resumes, we crop it out of photos, and delete it from our stories. But you know, God delights in bringing in truth through the back door sometimes. What if failure, instead of being our enemy, could actually be our teacher? What if disappointment isn't always a closed door, but sometimes a gate into something better? See, Romans 5 says this: suffering produces endurance. Endurance produces character, and character produces hope. That means that disappointment isn't a dead end, but it's a seed. See, it might just look like ashes right now, but it might be covering up roots of endurance that leads to hope. And let's be honest, if life went perfectly, none of us would have any character. We would just be spoiled, and the only way to learn endurance is to fall down and to get back up. Proverbs 24, verse 16, it says, "The righteous fall 7 times and rise back up." Did you notice it didn't say if you fall, it said when you fall. Falling is inevitable, but rising is a choice. I've fallen more than 7 times, probably more than 70 times. And the truth is, I don't like it any time. And each time felt like a certainty that I would never get up again. But here I am, and there you are, still standing, maybe shaking, maybe scarred, but you're still standing. And after you fall, what changed? Probably not the circumstances, definitely not the scoreboard, but what disappointment built was character. The secret to life isn't avoiding disappointment, it's learning how to rise in spite of it. See, hope is that one word that looks really good when it's embroidered on a pillow or hanging on your wall. But many times it seems impossible in real life. What hope means is holding on when it seems hopeless. See, if you only hope when life is good, that's not hope. That's optimism. But true hope is forged in the fires of hopelessness. Many of us have been in areas of our lives where it just seems like there is no hope, there is no good that is going to come from this, and that is where hope thrives. Because it turns out when it seems that there's no way in life, that's hope's playground. See, many people know Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. "I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you hope and a future." But many of us miss the context of that verse. God said that to a people who were in exile, who were far from home, crushed by disappointment. And God was showing them that hope shines brightest in the midst of disappointment. See, hope isn't denial, it's defiance. It shouts into the void, "Not yet." See, and here's how disappointment can become something holy. Imagine a clay pot. In our throwaway society, we would just toss it in the trash and forget about it. But God doesn't work that way. He picks it up. He puts it back together. He makes it smooth and reforms it until probably the greatest thing that it can do is now available to be done. See, Paul understood this because he had a thorn in the flesh, the Bible says, and 3 times he prayed that God would take it away. And God's response was, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in your weakness." And really, that's one of the strangest gifts in the whole Bible. Weakness that becomes a throne of power by God's strength. And maybe sometimes God allows disappointment to remind us that we are jars of clay, not marble statues. Fragile, yes, but filled with treasure. Disappointment can teach us things that sometimes success never can. Success builds confidence, but disappointment cultivates humility. Success makes you proud of what you've achieved, but disappointment makes you rely on God. Think of the disciples. They followed Jesus with high hopes, freedom, glory, crowns. Then came the cross, and their dreams collapsed. Their leader was dead, and that is disappointment. But 3 days later, disappointment transformed into resurrection. And sometimes God allows our dreams to die so something greater can emerge. Disappointment is not a tomb, but it can be a womb, painful, dark, and hidden, but from it, new life can emerge. So here's the challenge. Don't despise disappointment. Don't run from it, but sit with it and ask God, what are you trying to teach me from this? Let your brokenness become a classroom. Let your unanswered prayers be a doorway. Let your failures be fertilizer for something new. Because the truth is, you will rise again. Not because you are perfect, but because He is faithful. Disappointment might just be God's way of weaving hope into your life. So embrace the gift, not because it feels good, but because it can lead to something good. And when failure comes knocking at your door, open the door with a smile and say, "You're late. God's already working hope in my life." And that's the gift of disappointment. It's not the end of the story. It's merely the beginning of hope. God bless.